Chelsea Football Club are in a position where their players are going to the board and saying, can you sack Mauricio Pochettino? And then you have Xabi Alonso saying, I'm not even interested in Chelsea Football Club. Yes, this all actually is happening. And Ruben Amorim, who I think would be the perfect response, is going to Liverpool Football Club. I've got the story for you guys. Oh, and one more thing. Fikayo Tomori was at Chelsea, didn't get an opportunity. Mark Guehi was at Chelsea, didn't get an opportunity. Levi Colwill was at Chelsea and nearly didn't get an opportunity. Now it looks like history is going to repeat itself with Badiashile. But I'm going to explain to you why that's not going to happen, because reputable sources have come out and said he's going nowhere. So if you want the latest Chelsea news, if you want the latest inquiries that are going around the club, make sure you stay to the end of the video, hit the like button, we're aiming for 1,000 likes, and subscribe, right? That's the best way you can support. Now, let's get started with the video. I think we need to attack this in chronological order and how it makes sense. So we're going to start with the news that is coming out regarding the Chelsea football players wanting to get Mauricio Pochettino out. So Graham Bailey from 90 Min Daily has come out and said that there are reports that he has heard, as well as other sources, that are stipulating that players and agents are talking to the hierarchy and asking for Mauricio Pochettino not to be the manager next season. I believe this 100%. Guys, there is too much negativity around the club at this moment in time for me to say that those players are... There is no way Enzo Fernandez is happy to be a basic box-to-box midfielder, and you saw Enzo's discontent in multiple games this season. Whether it was the game against Spurs, where he is complaining publicly to Pochettino that the tactics aren't working. Whether it's Levi Colwill, rumours coming out that he's not happy at playing at left back and wants to be a thing. Whether it's Mudryk being unhappy on consistently being on the bench when in the beginning of the season Ben Chilwell was playing left wing. Do you really think these are the only players that would be unhappy? Do you think that the investment was made, the projects that has been sold to these players, that we will give you the world and everything if you come to Chelsea Football Club, to be coached by Mauricio Pochettino in this gross misconduct way? Absolutely not. This is 100% true. I know people are going to say, this is Graham Bailey, he's not as reputable, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then tell me why Ornstein has come out with this. Ornstein now has come out and said, Chelsea are not going to sack him at this moment in time, but the ownership group at this moment in time are thinking about the review at the end of the year, and they will decide whether to keep him then or not. Guys, the murmurs are already coming out that this man will be relieved of his job, and I promise you, when this happens, I am going to be happy, because the comments that Mauricio has been coming out with recently are of a man that doesn't care, of a man that knows he needs to be sacked. And what he said after the game, he said, when the team struggles, we revert to one tactic. We revert to give Cole Palmer the ball. Do you understand how wild that is? We don't have a system, we have an individual. The reason Cole Palmer's putting up crazy numbers, and the reason why Cole Palmer at his age of 22 in his debut season as a starter feels the need to have to get 12, 14 goals and 10 GNA or whatever he's got, like in terms of assists, is because we've got a manager that at this moment in time has got a system built around a 22-year-old that needs to score every single game. He needs to put up crazy numbers. And for me, it's gross misconduct at the finest extent. And this will be the end of Mauricio Pochettino's tenure. Whether it's the defeat to Manchester United, whether we make European football this year, I think they're going to get rid of him. What I do think is very interesting, and we are actively seeing this now, Chelsea's appeal is no longer there. People are going to say, what are you talking about? Of course Chelsea's appeal is there. We have won the Champions League twice. We have won the Premier League 5 times in the last 20 years. We are a massive club. We were a massive club. We were a massive institution. But at the moment, the industry that we're in is, what have you done for me recently? And what have we done for people recently? Finished 12th or 11th last year. God forbid, I don't even know which number it was. This year, we're on track to finish in somewhere between 12th and 7th. And that's the harsh truth. We are somewhere on track between getting Europa League football and missing out on Europe altogether. So, what massive managers will want to be interested? Xabi Alonso, Chelsea Football Club, apparently were talking to him. These are reports that are coming from Spain and Germany. Santi was one of the reporters that was coming out with this, and apparently he stipulates 3 clubs wanted Xabi Alonso: Liverpool, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. Bayern Munich apparently could not guide him away from Bayer Leverkusen. He was interested in the role. However, he believed that that's not the right move for him at this moment in time. Move number 2. To go after Klopp, he did not want to do that. He believes there's more development left for him. Move number 3, Chelsea. Apparently the man was not even interested. Apparently the discussions with Chelsea were not there. And for me, this is the biggest damning of all, because we are no longer being considered by the creme de la creme managers. We can't attract the Julian Nagelsmanns, the Enriques that we were talking to last year, because the fact of the matter is, the project has gone so badly. There's been so much exposure that everyone is seeing the negatives around it, that they're not looking at the positives. They're not looking at the Enzo Fernandezes, the Caicedos, the Palmers, the Gustos. They're not looking at the fact that you have Reece James and Gungu. They're not looking at the fact that you had 1 or 2 good pieces, you've got an unbelievable squad. They're looking at the fact that we are a joke at the moment. It is constant drama after drama, and it's not ending up well. And why this is bad is because the fact that Alonso is going to stay at Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool want Ruben Amorim. And Ruben Amorim is my favourite choice of manager. I wanted him last year. There's a video I made even last year when we appointed Pochettino. I said my selection would have been Ruben Amorim. If you guys want to go and watch the pros and cons between De Zerbi and Ruben Amorim, there will be a link where I speak about their strengths and weaknesses. It will explain a lot to you. So hang to the end of the video, that will explain it. But it looks like Ruben Amorim's people have spoken to a publication in Portugal. I think it's Goal or Bola, one of the two. I remember reading it. And they actively say there are 3 things that they love about Liverpool. Number 1, Amorim is really attracted by the passion of the fans. Number 2, it's the philosophy that he can implement with the players that he has. And number 3, the squad is ready to win now. A lot of that does not translate to Chelsea, and for me this is a massive problem. He's one of the hot prospects in European football, and we can't attract him to Chelsea Football Club. And for me that is absolutely damning and repulsive, because if he goes, what options do we have? A De Zerbi most probably, the guy from Stuttgart that keeps getting mentioned, the guy from Feyenoord, Slot, which I don't want. We are literally being left in a position where we're going after the B tier managers. I honestly, as more time goes on, the more I'm leaning towards Zerbi. The final story, it came out on April Fool's Day, so I thought, you know what, it must be April Fool's. And luckily, the story has been rebutted really strongly. And Fabrizio Romano has come out rigorously and denied that this is true. However, reports started early in the morning in Italy that Beno is linked with a move to Italy in the summer, and Chelsea will decide in the summer if they actually let this player go. Why this has rattled me is because AC Milan were linked with him in December, and then in January, close to the deadline, they were linked with him again, where Di Marzio was coming out really rigorously that Chelsea are considering letting Beno go on a loan with an option to buy. And I was like, what on earth are we doing? Because we've seen this pattern before, we've seen this routine before. Fikayo Tomori breaks through with Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard doesn't play him the next season. All of a sudden, player goes on loan. Tuchel doesn't even have a chance to prove to the player that he's part of the future of the club, the fabric of the club. He goes to Milan. Ever since then, he's won a league title. He's got all the way to I think it was a semi-final of the Champions League. He's pivotal in what they do, and he's a very good centre-back at this moment in time. Then, we've had the similar thing with Mark Guehi. Mark Guehi has moved on, had a very good loan in the Championship, moved on all the way to Crystal Palace, and now clubs like Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United and Liverpool are all actively looking at the England international, and he looks set to be playing for England in the Euros coming up this summer. Yet Chelsea are considering buying him back. He was already here. We opted to give him away. Same thing happened with Ake. Ake went to Manchester, to Bournemouth when we should have kept him instead of Gary Cahill, but people didn't want to hear it back then. He ended up going to Manchester City. Now he's a multi-time Premier League and treble winner. It's ridiculous. We keep having these talents under the roof. We don't give them opportunities and we let them go. But the worst of this is Badiashile 12 months ago was getting shouts of Rolls-Royce defender. Do you understand how mad that is? That 12 months ago under Graham Potter in the structure where we were defensively solid, we weren't offensively solid, we were defensively solid. People were saying this was one of the best purchases. We got this right. This is a very good signing. £30 million for Benoit Badiashile is amazing business. Now you expose him to 6 months under Pochettino and all of a sudden, people want him gone. I think this is ridiculous. I'm so happy Fabrizio Romano has come out and said Chelsea have no intention of selling him, because I genuinely believe a back 3, a back 2, this guy's got it all. Beautiful passing range, good height, strong, intelligent, quick across the ground. I think what's happening to him right now is, 1, he's left exposed, 2, he's lacking confidence, and 3, the system at this moment in time has propelled him to a position where he's not even recovered from his injuries and he's getting attacked from all this different direction. We need to ensure that this player develops at the right pace, and this is why I don't understand why we haven't moved to a back 3. What I would have done in recent weeks is put Thiago Silva in the middle, put Badiashile on one side, put Disasi on the other side, or Trevor Chalobah on the other side, and from there onwards you have Gusto on one side. On the other side, you can be a little bit more adventurous and put a Mudryk or put a Ben Chilwell, put a Cucurella if you need to. Go with Caicedo and Enzo, number 10 Palmer, Jackson and Sterling. That's what I would have done. However, it's evident he doesn't want to do that. If you want to alter Sterling for Noni, we can do it. If you want to alter Sterling for Mudryk, you can do it. The problem is we're not being adventurous enough. We're being very stagnant. We're going with a 4-2-3-1 consistently, playing Gallagher in the 10, which makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, go and watch the videos that I've made about regarding Victor Gyökeres, the player that we've been linked with at number 9, the strengths and weaknesses of the player, and here you can go watch the strengths and weaknesses of Ruben Amorim, and more importantly, De Zerbi, who we could potentially get. See you later.